It is a beautiful Sunday for some Call of Duty esports and everybody battling for that trophy there. We came in, Joe, with 6 teams today. 2 will remain. 4 are going to be eliminated. We already watched the subliners get knocked out, and we're going to continue through with the action. It's going to be a wild next couple of hours. I've got no idea how this is going to go.
Yeah, what? We just had an upset right there with London over New York. I know I definitely thought New York was going to win that one. So a crazy game already today. And as you said, a lot more on the line.
And now we have Mutineers versus OpTic, a matchup that we have seen quite a bit recently, right? Like back to that London home series where they were battling it out multiple times over that event. But I know our match is close to getting ready, so we're going to start rifling through stuff. I want to get right to our game fuel keys to victory. I believe we're going to start off with the Florida Mutineers. Joe, walk me through it.
Yeah, this was a surprising stat. I mean, Florida, they fried in the respawns, and they had a loss. So, I mean, you want to keep that up, but make those smart decisions. As it says, the final moments of the games, decisions have to be better. I don't know who the shot caller is, who the captain is. Someone just needs to slow things down and make the right play. You look at a guy like Havoc to do that, and yeah, they need that clutch factor. Lost both hard points by a combined 19 points. So, listen, it's not like one of those teams that's getting outslayed. They're doing something wrong. Who is going to be that leader to help them fix those problems?
Well, let's see if they can get back to that June form where we saw them frying everybody they matched up against. Now the game fuel keys to victory for OpTic. Texas Kenny was the difference maker. You kind of saw the memes going around on Twitter. There's just been a noticeable improvement, like a spark in his gameplay. He's getting back to that just dominant form where he's an MVP candidate, one of the best players in the entire game. He was the guy that I picked at the beginning of the year to be an MVP at the end, and that has not been how it's gone. But with him improving, I think it's made it easier for everybody, because we've talked about that a lot over the years. Like, even it goes both ways. Like for FaZe, when Priesta was struggling, it made it harder for everyone. When a player improves, it makes it easier for everyone. And Kenny finding this form that we haven't seen much this year is awesome. And like, he's been better than a lot of the players that maybe struggle more on this squad. Like we know Bad Dashy was struggling, how poor TJ has been. Kenny's been like okay, but he hasn't been that guy that is just one of the best players on the map at any given point. We're seeing that again.
Yeah, I just think that, we saw it when they added draws in Hollow. Things were a little bit different the first time they played Florida, right? It went to that Game 5, Round 11. It's just, did they have enough time to improve to be one of the best teams in the world? They're looking good so far.
So far, so good. But let's get to our Sony Xperia smartphone predictions. Joe, how do you see this going?
I went OpTic Gaming. I went OpTic Gaming in a Game 5. I believe that it is going to go the distance, but I really haven't been impressed with Florida. It feels like teams have figured them out. They could obviously prove me wrong. You can still be one of the best teams in the world, but OpTic Gaming, that momentum, they're running with it.
Maybe it's just because I picked OpTic to be good at the beginning of the year. I don't know what it is, but I've got a feeling they're making a run today. I went OpTic 3-1. Yeah, part of it, the fact that, yes, Florida have been less than impressive as of late, and OpTic are apparently surging and improving very, very quickly. But yeah, something in my gut, man. I got a feeling OpTic are going to do it, Joe. It's just, we'll see. We'll see if they can get it done. But we've got 2 rosters just stacked with absolute talent. This should be a riveting matchup. I do want to introduce our rosters now. Let's kick it off with the Florida Mutineers. You don't give them much of a chance this weekend.
No, I don't.
Bingo is his name, and Pharaoh.
And we actually just took over.
Pharaoh's 11-1!
My God, man. They have taken over the Call of Duty League.
Joe, on this 5-man roster, when you look through the stats in this matchup playing against OpTic, what players have really given OpTic the most trouble?
I mean, it's the big 3 that we've talked about, Awakening, Skies, and Pharaoh. Pharaoh has a 1.38 versus OpTic Gaming. Awakening is at like a 1.31. Skies is at a 1.25. I think even Havoc was at like a 1.1. They're 3-0 versus OpTic Gaming LA. They have owned this team. But again, they played twice at London. That was the first time we saw the new OpTic Gaming roster. One of those series was a Game 5. It did go all the way to a round 11. So I think if you're OpTic, that's a pretty good sign that you played them that tough with a brand new roster.
Certainly. But on the other side of this, it is the dark horse squad that's remaining in this. A team that started in the bottom 4 and now a chance to make the run. Let's meet OpTic Gaming.
Slashers OpTic. They needed it. Now walk away with the W.
Blackout. Yeah, it's getting blackout. Black. Fire in the street.
You know the legends on this lineup in TJ, Kenny, and Slasher, but maybe more eyes than ever now on Draza and Hollow. What the young guys can do, they're seemingly getting better and better every event. They're clicking, they're clutching up when they need to. They've looked strong in every mode. And I'm saying this when we're talking about a bubble of basically this tournament where things seem to be clicking, but they seem to be a threat, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when they formed this new roster for London and Toronto, they had a very difficult schedule. Like I said, they played Florida twice. They played some of the best teams in the world. So they didn't find the success maybe that they were looking for, but they got better. They improved. I think you saw the bright spots, and that was important. It looked just like that they were understanding the game a lot more than what we saw from OpTic Gaming of the past. So Draza and Hollow, they have completely transformed this roster.
Well, it's time to get into it. This best of 5 to decide who's moving on. A reminder that all matches today are elimination matches. In every single one, somebody is getting knocked out. And I believe, hopefully I'm not misquoting this, but it's what? They're already guaranteed $175,000. If they win this, they're guaranteed $300,000. So this is a match for a $125,000 bump and a chance to continue your run through the championship. Let's get right into it. Azir Cave to kick it off, Joe.
Yeah, and these guys have played this map versus each other before. This is going to be Florida's map pick. They're 1-0, sitting at 7-5 overall. So a strong map. We talked about the AR presence that they have. This guy, Sky's an MVP candidate for a reason. But you also have Pharaoh and Awakening. Those 3 M4s, they can be scary.
Let's see what they can get going out of the gate. You saw a flurry of kills from Mutineers. OpTic were trying to answer back, as OpTic will have that cave side east spot locked down for now. And due to Draza's presence towards the hard point, they're not only holding the spawns, but they're getting some time as well. This is everything you can ask for. Now there's some big pushes coming out of Mutineers. One trying to push over towards Outpost. That was Frosty. He's going to get caught as TJ has the angle. Awakening trying to line that up as well. And that is some nice shots out of Awakening as he starts off 5-0 before he drops. But if you're OpTic, at least you got 10 points. You've still held on to the spawns, but this next sequence of kills is going to be massive. Because you see 1 and 4, that's Awakening and Pharaoh, starting to move up into caves. And technically, they've kind of got a 2-on-1 right now against Kenny. But Kenny ready and waiting, almost able to snap onto the second. But Awakening keeps his groove going.
Yeah, Awakening is melting right now. But as you said, you've up 37 points, but you have the spawns. Here comes a push, though. Frosty's going to be the first one through. Hollow going to get taken down. Now it's on to TJ.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Man, this is not great timing for OpTic Gaming, but still, you see the close spawns are in. They're still going to have some hill control, but Frosty has snuck on through, and Frosty is winning both of these gunfights.
Now where do they spawn? They've got to be spawning out at this point. The back spawns have been broken. Mutineers have gotten in. They still have to get through to the hard point, but it's TJ. It's TJ that's going huge. He's gotten 3 kills from around the hard point and managed to rack up some time. Hollow then follows it up. Did they do enough to hold on? I mean, if you're Mutineers, you've at least disrupted some of this time. Like, you've gotten the spawns, you've gotten them out of the hard point. It's been a nice bounce back from OpTic in the sense that you've at least been able to get some time out of this, but man,
how do you take this if you're OpTic, though?
Yeah, considering how the first 10 seconds went, yeah.
Exactly. Now Kenny's starting to heat up. He's on a 5-3. Yeah, you have them trapped. You look as we rotate the soccer field. What, Pharaoh is the closest one? They have a lot of work to do. You have TJ who's set up towards Spiral. He's going to find that first kill. Hollow and Kenny working this blue building, and this is going to be a great time with Slasher looking over them at that broken side. So it works out. It does work out. They flipped them at the right time, and it was TJ who was able to hang on.
Exactly. If TJ has to get those 3 kills from the hard point, yeah, that might look a whole lot different, but he goes big, and I will focus on soccer. As Frosty thought he had a 1-on-1 win, but Draza puts him in the dirt in the field. 5 in a row there in the feed for OpTic Gaming. They're soaking up all the time and now making a run. So that sequence as you said, even though it looked a little bit sloppy at first, it works out magically for them. Now, can they get this and somehow wrap this into cave side as well, as Frosty will start to work in? It's already Kenny, though, that's in position. Kenny in position. Kenny makes the play with yet another triple.
Yeah, he was the rotation man through middle of cave. He had to trade with TJ. He got stunned. He threw a Semtex at his feet. He's on another 5 spree. They win the rotation over to Cave West due to the play by Kenny, but he is locking things down. And since that first hill, it has been all OpTic Gaming, but here comes the push. As Frosty and Havoc, they break things wide open.
Well, think about that crazy rotation and break they had against Rocker on that same hardpoint. It was Kenny that was the rotation man, basically in a 1v3, and got 2 of them, right? So, like, whatever it is about him rotating to this point, he is very, very comfortable. But now Mutineers trying to rally back. The players leading the way so far for them has been Awakening and Frosty. It's another multi-kill from Kenny before he drops, as Havoc answers instantaneously with a multi-kill of his own. And Mutineers kind of stop that spree. They slow the game down for a moment because it was getting out of hand there for a stretch.
Yeah, they actually won it on both sides. So you had TJ with a one-on-one versus Awakening. Awakening won it, and then Havoc going big at the old hill. You do have Draza, though. Draza snuck his way all the way around. Draza trying to make the play. He's going to have some work to do, though. Everybody spawns very close to him from Florida. Just trying to stay alive. Hopefully his teammates can get to him, but his teammates being shut down right now. Nice heads-up play from the Mutineers. Only down 11 points now. OpTic Gaming, they're still spawning close.
I think he got like wallbang through that truck. He was trying desperately to stay alive, but just not quite able to do it. Up to 17 already is Kenny, and just talking to him, like, with, you know, playing obviously from a different location, the team now clicking, like, he really feels like he's playing a different game. And well, he really has been. Statistically, he's been nuts so far, but it's been a bit of a battle here inside of the point. No one really able to lock up a ton of time here at Outpost, as Strasser just trying to stay alive.
He's trying to do what he can, but yeah, everywhere you peek, man, there's 4 M4s looking at you, just trying to get some hill time. But OpTic Gaming, kind of what they did with Soccer Field, they're trying to lock Florida all the way back here. You do have one player pushed up middle of cave. That's Frosty. But Hollow's just trying to make sure they can't rotate through that cliff side. New hill pops, almost a tie game. It was a great start for OpTic Gaming, but Florida, they find their way right back into it.
Yeah, I mean, this map, over the course of this tournament, we've seen some incredible swings. Having some more going down here, but early time in our first hard point, the second set of rotations, going to OpTic Gaming. Kenny, a double again. As he is, I feel like every time I see him on the kill feed, he's finding multi-kills. It's just been insane how influential he has been on the map. But Florida try to do whatever they can. Hollow wins a big gunfight. Now, can they push through and get into Cave Side East? Everyone's still popping there for Mutineers, but this is going to be basically like a perfect 60. This has been, you don't get that often at the first hard point. OpTic are doing it right now.
Yeah, usually you see a little bit of contest time, and yeah, now when you're down at 20 seconds, Florida knows they just have to play for spawns. This is probably going to be the first push. Pharaoh in a bit of a sneaky position. We'll see if Draza is going to be able to read this, because he's going to be the first man through towards this cliff side. He's going to be the guy with this submachine gun. As the new hill pops, see, can OpTic Gaming get through, but Draza going to get taken down by Pharaoh. Now, push coming through the front, coming through that middle tunnel. It's trades back and forth, but it's Hollow with 2. That's going to get them on the hill. Now, can they hang on? How long can they hang on for? You see the spawns come in for Florida. Here, it's their time to push.
We'll try to get in. TJ was the magician here last time through. Here he gets dropped. Now on to Kenny. A little bit of pre-fire, but Skies has the angle. Kenny now up to 22 kills. And on the other side, it's Awakening matching him kill for kill. These two having a battle. Map 1.
And again, I think this is great for OpTic. You have not earned any time, but neither has Florida, and you trapped them. What happened last time we were at Soccer Field? It was OpTic Gaming with a beautiful setup. Just kept them pinned in. Can they do it again? Can Florida finally get out? Because it just feels like they haven't been able to do so.
Yeah, Joe, didn't you know now on Azir Cave, the money hills for the first hard point, not cave side.
Yeah, that's Soccer Field, right? I mean, listen, the game is always evolving. People are starting to figure it out. But yeah, you typically, you don't see perfect holds like this often.
Well, back into Soccer Field they go. If you get a great hold from OpTic, you could be up nearly 100 points, and that would be devastation for Mutineers. Sky's trying to get it going. He's been one of their most consistent players. And on a map like this with a AR, you'd think he'd be flowing, but he's 10 and 17 or somewhere in that ballpark right now.
Finally here, it's just 30 seconds off of it, right? Like, It just takes so long. And now, guess what? Their last push is in, but we're already rotating. Draws is going to go through the well. You have Slasher who's, you know, trying to hang on to this scrap time. But OpTic Gaming, with these soccer field holds, man, you can see the pressure they're putting on Florida. Now, last time in this first rotation, the Mutineers, they responded. It was a beautiful break. They were able to hold the 4th and 5th hill and put them in a, you know, basically a tie game, but they're going to have to do it again.
It's just a lot different this time. Like, it was like scrappy. Now you have all of OpTic set up. So this is going to be a much different, more difficult break, but we'll see if they can do it. Awakening will fall as TJ has a nice bit of cover there to work with. 40 points away from victory now is OpTic. 3 in a row for TJ. Everybody from Mutineers falling as they're trying to get in, but they've got to get in. They've got to pull off something truly special if they're going to come back in this map 1. And second by second just seeming too tall a task.
Yeah, they're able to get through, but you see Kenny spawns up. He's already past that first hard point. Kenny's going to try to sneak on through. He's going to have 2 players to deal with. All of Florida, they've done it, right? They are in the same situation. And he's been so big, though, for OpTic Gaming this map. The scrap time to go to the way of OpTic Gaming. On the rotation, it's Kenny trying to stay alive. Here comes more of them, but Pharaoh with a nice little bunny hop there. But, I mean, he buys his team time. At least you have Kenny and Draza here. They actually take down 3. It's just Skies in the back. It's Skies and Pharaoh trying to hold on.
Well, Sky's Simtex hits at least, who's TJ was about to be the one to get into the hard point. 27 points away from the win now is OpTic. Mutineers have got to hold. They've got to go big, and they somehow have got to get the flip for the rotation. And next, you think as well, if they're going to make this rally. Draza with an entry, Hollow there as well. Awakening now the one to pick up the scraps. The smoke going to make it so difficult, but Awakening is able to pick up 2 before he gets back into the point. Can they somehow make this rally? They're finding all the kills for now. Challenging forward is Awakening. The smoke keeping him up. It's a team kill with his trophy, but it's not going to matter. Is the time still going their way? What was that sequence?
I don't know. He was just in the smoke. Draza was in the smoke. And, I mean, they're getting all these kills. And OpTic Gaming, they continue to put the pressure on. But you do have Frosty inside of yellow trying to set up for first. This is a little bit different than what we saw last time around. You had OpTic Gaming set up already. This is nice positioning for Florida, so they can fight for this time. Now just a, 25-point game. So we head into our next set. Kenny, he's going to try to earn some time. Draza trying to fight for some mid-map control around those 2 buildings, but the nades are in. It feels like Florida clicking at the right time.
Oh my God.
But is it too late?
Oh my God. No, I mean, if they can hold this off and hold fun, they need to make sure OpTic doesn't win it on this point, which obviously they can. 40 seconds left. They only need 20 points. Can you keep it scrappy enough in mid and hold on to the spawns? You've got a chance to win this game, and what an absurd 100-point comeback it would be. Awakening now up to 34 and 27, but it's OpTic back into the point. They can still win it here, so you're going to have to keep flooding, have to keep the gameplay frantic if you're Mutineers to extend this game. They're so close to that point where OpTic can no longer win it, and with that tick, that'll do it. OpTic can't win it on this point. They have to focus on next.
Look at the spawns though. OpTic Gaming, they flipped it. Hollow, he made the heads up play. They've gotten around. Kenny, he wins the one-on-one versus Pharaoh. You have Skies all the way through. He's trying to hang on. It's going to be him and Awakening. Basically in a 2 versus 5 situation right now. It's the MVP, but TJ with 30 kills. They break on through. OpTic Gaming only need 10 more points.
They can lock it down here. They can get the map 1 win. It felt like they might throw it away, but have they done just enough to get the map 1 dub? They have. OpTic Gaming LA take the map 1, but my God, did Mutineers rally late? It felt at one point like it was done. Like it's like they're up 100, they're cruising, they're playing well, but Mutineers, man, did they start to fire on all cylinders.
Well, it was really just what? I mean, Cave Weston in Cliffside that was giving OpTic Gaming trouble after trouble. And for Mutineers, you had rotation to the second hill multiple times. OpTic Gaming trapped them at soccer field. We're going to take a look at our stats here. Kenny was 37 and 29, Awakening 38 and 28. Look at the damage those 2 put up. Almost 4,700 from Awakening, 4,400 on Kenny. Just an all-around great performance from OpTic Gaming Los Angeles. On the other side, I mean, I guess the one thing that stands out, like a guy like Havoc, it's going to be tough for him. You see the subs struggling, especially when there's, 4 ARs on the other team. But I guess Sky's at 22 and 26, not having that MVP game we expect from him.
Well, he did step it up. I think he was like, what, 10 and 18 or something in that ballpark when I first looked at it. But let's kind of go through our U.S. Air Force maps and modes and look through how this series is going to go on throughout this best of 5. But, man, I think there's part of it, like, when you're a commentator, you have a couple things that, like, a couple calls that you just love doing. Like, when people make big plays. And for some reason, just like Kenny. Like, he's just yelling Kitty, just that name, like yelling it and gas. It really is. And like, there's been so many points in my career where he's had these crazy plays. And like, I noticed during the mid of this year, I've kind of missed it. Like, the OpTic just hasn't been very good. Kenny hasn't been himself. I guess there's just part of me that's happy to see him playing like we know he can again. And what a performance it was in map 1. Is Kenny, I will never call you Quavo.
Yeah. I won't either. As we take a look at our U.S. Air Force maps and modes, we're headed to Gunrunner Search and Destroy. Again, we talked about these two matching up twice at London, and they played this map twice. So we're sitting at 1-1. Each were able to take one, but Florida overall 4-8, OGLA 3-4. So nothing too crazy, but I guess if you look at the rest of these, the only interesting part for me is if we do go the distance, if we go all the way to Petro, only 2 maps played for Florida. They're sitting at 0-2.
We take a look at 2 of the superstars for these teams head to head. Kenny and Skies obviously playing different positions on the map, different roles, but they're massive for their team. Now we'll see how they can do it in the Search and Destroy. Any like key things you're looking for in Search, Joe?
Oh, I mean, Gunrunner Search and Destroy, I think we talk about like sub players, right? Just the pressure around green, around bathrooms. This is where you look at, I mean, even TJ Sniper. But I guess for me, for the side of Florida, this is where I look at Frosty and Havoc. Frosty actually had a really solid game, being that 4th M4 with 31 kills. But can he get it rolling in Search and Destroy with Havoc? Because they're going to be the guys opening things up.
We'll see if they can do that. But yeah, no, we know how what was the one we were casting recently where it was like the rounds were all over in like 20 seconds? It was literally
just OpTic, right?
Just both teams headbutting each other mid-map. Yeah, I think it was it the OpTic match? It all blurs together at some point. But yeah, no, I think it was the OpTic match where it's just everyone just going at each other, just these intense opening fights where you and I would try to call it. Next thing you know, there's 2 people alive. Like it was just utter.
Somebody take
madness.
A picture. I saw a smirk from Slasher. I saw a little bit of a smirk. All right, someone go back and take a screenshot of that.
He smiled? Did he smile?
Yeah, it was like a half smile, but I saw Kenny smiling, so it counts.
That for Slasher right there, that's about as close as you're gonna get to happiness. That is darn close.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like that old meme where it's like it shows like all the ranges of emotion. It's just like the same face for all of them. Like,
there's one of Celium I think we've had this year. The guy's just stone cold, man.
Oh, they're locked in. They're ready to go. And it's time to get into the Search and Destroy. It's OpTic up 1-0 in the series. And they've had their spurts where they look to be a very solid search team. I know for Mutineers, that was one of their kind of woes early when this team came together. They're looking good. They're clicking the respawns. We were wondering when the search was going to click. And they've had their ups and downs. But no time for ups and downs now. You got to fire off with whatever strategies you've got. This is the elimination side of the bracket. Anything you have, anything up your sleeve, it's now time to rip that bad boy out and make the play. As Mutineers will kick things off on offense. And yeah, we'll see if we see that same type of aggression out of OpTic.
OpTic, they think that it's going to be maybe towards an A hit. Frosty's just going to read it. He's just going to fly. But that's just going to be a quick trade. Maybe Frosty's just trying to catch them off guard. And guess who? It's TJ with the sniper rifle. We saw it on Piccadilly. How good he can be. He talked about it. He's not missing. We'll see if he can open things up.
Yeah, no, he's been truly impressive. And just a guy that we haven't watched snipe a ton in his career. Has been lights out with that, but Awakening has gotten into a nice spot. That Simtex, though, will back him up. Bomb gets planted. TJ hits the shots with the pistol. Awakening out of the mix. Kenny will drop right after. Is now Havoc. And Silence Pop will try to make the sneaky play in this 3 versus 3, but that's a big gunfight win there from Slasher. The trade comes over. There's no trade here. Litigoat gets the kill. It's now all on Skies to clutch up at a 1 versus 3. He makes it a 1 versus 1. 20 seconds to go. It's on TJ on the push, and the pistol will connect. TJ takes the 1-on-1 and will get the defuse, but my God in heaven, did Skies make it interesting?
Man, it was in this area. Yes, it was OpTic Gaming that we watched versus Gorillas. It was this area around this bomb site where it was Slasher and Kenny. Their ability to stay alive, their baiting and switching back and forth. and they do it here again. It was Slasher who really changed this round, gave them that man advantage, and Skies, as you said, almost had it, but there was enough time on the clock.
Well, you get a little bit nervous. You know, TJ's got that pistol, but he actually gets 2 of the 5 kills with the pistol out. So it works out. And now we'll swap sides over, but Slasher makes the play that likely changes the game. TJ then closes it out. Draza with that first blood.
Read that, didn't they?
They sure did.
Havoc's like, all right, well, I tried to play a sneaky position. That didn't work. Man advantage OpTic game. You're going to have to try and retake with 4 here. And it looks like Pharaoh's pretty worried about that wide flank. You see his position near that A site, and they're not planning. They're just going to fly on through.
Awakening going to be the last one up here. Can he not make the play? He'll have Dead Silence pop. That's going to pop behind 1. 2 kills for him in the round. Almost 3, but Kenny with the bunny hop able to take it. 3 versus 2 now for OpTic, but they still have to work this plant. Plenty of time to do so, and now Dead Silence out for TJ as he's trying to hunt for 1. Pharaoh brings it even, but only for a moment, and now it's all going to be on Frosty, and his Dead Silence about to run out.
And just like OpTic Gaming, like they're just sort of being so patient. They know that have to work the B-bomb, and they catch them off guard on their pushes. Now what can Frosty do? He has the M4, but both of the players get away. He has an idea of the area that they're in. TJ, that is a tough shot. And TJ not missing.
Yeah, that's not a fun gunfight. And
no, it is not.
We know, and one thing I'm just thinking about earlier, I know it's only 2 rounds in, but oh god, his hip fire hit there too. Yeah, he just got incinerated. But the like Havoc can be a playmaker in Search. We've known this his entire career, and this has been a frustrating start. Like, think about the first round. He thought he had a free trade onto Slasher. Slasher goes prone, kills him. Next round, thinks he's in a sneaky spot, gets caught. Like, I think they're going to need him to start to get going. It's just been a very, very frustrating start for Havoc.
And just got red 2 times. That's really it. They anticipated his position. Maybe some research done by OpTic Gaming, but I mean, it was a common spot in that defensive area. We'll see now what they can do on offense. Pretty slow offense, but look at the flank coming in. It's going to be Draza. It's going to be Kenny working it. Can Pharaoh hold on to it? He's got a sniper. He's probably going to die, and he is. And this is your bomb carrier as well. This is your bomb carrier, but Frosty does catch 2, but Hazard got through.
Now, where do we go from here? Bomb is down. All the way back towards spawn, but Draza will get dropped. It's now to TJ and Slasher in a 2 versus 3. Both have Dead Silence. I believe TJ popped his. He might find a kill inside of bathrooms.
Just outside.
He's coming up behind him now, though. Caught between pistol and sniper. Wasn't sure what weapon he needed for the situation. Slasher will fall now. It's all on the Iceman. 1 versus 3. A must-win round for Mutineers, and they've got a chance to close it out here. Flick just a little bit off. There's the peak from Havoc, and there is the much-needed round win for Mutineers. Is Frosty, I mean, that double before he dropped.
Yep, it's everything.
Just massive.
Yeah, that's everything. Draza gets through so fast with Dead Silence. They think probably the coast is clear. And I think it was Kenny and one other that just gets caught. Must have been Hollow.
What did you call Draza? Did you call him Hazard at one point? I was like, who?
Well, that's his, it's Hazard backwards. So yes.
I didn't actually. Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay. Is it really?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I heard you say Hazard gets through. I was like, who?
Draza, sorry. But
no,
Draza gets the first blood. My bad.
I know. I learned something new every day.
I don't want to confuse you.
I get confused very easily, Joe. But there, the first blood is Awakening will drop as Draza comes on through, and OpTic start to mount this offense forward.
Well, who is that first blood? It's on Awakening. He plays around these crates, and again. So, because they're taking their time with this, and the question is why? It's because they know that with a bomb on the opposite side of the crate, that Florida have to push. They cannot allow the plant to go down, or it gets that much more difficult. So they're getting aggressive, and all they're trying to do is catch a player, just as they did right there. So OpTic Gaming with the first bloods they're finding, they're playing patient around this bomb. They know that Florida has to come to them, and they are just picking them off one by one.
Frosty, good luck. He's got Deddy up, but Dead Silence doesn't stop the door sounds of this. He's flying through that and trying to get some information, but it's Slasher at the mid cut that gets the kill. 3-1 OpTic Gaming, and yeah, you nailed it. The patience from OpTic. Now you'll see the final positioning from Slasher to do it. And I don't know if it's just the location change, the team change, a combination of everything, but
again,
OpTic's
they were
playing well,
looking
man.
better. They were looking better.
You're right. They were.
And I think those 2 to 3 weeks leading up to playoffs, it had to have helped them, because we saw moments where, like, all right, they know what they're doing. It's just, can they execute? And I'm sure everything else is, helps, but it just took a little bit of time as they get aggressive towards this B site, and Havoc now just trying to stay alive inside of green.
TJ's all the way pushed up like back forest. He is pushed up so much. His Sky's gonna hear him. Surprise! I'm on your side of the map. Oh, he can't finish the second, though. He will fall. It's a big kill from Pharaoh to close it out before TJ gets two.
They do it again, though. Slasher just fills that hole. He goes right back to that spot.
The old
Havoc
hole
does take
filler.
down. Oh, God. Does take down Draza. Makes this a 2 versus 3.
Gets into the spot, fills the gap, makes the play. Potential 4th round win looming for OpTic, unless Pharaoh and Havoc can do something about it. With 40 seconds remaining and no map position whatsoever, what do you do here, Joe?
You have dead silence. They'll love to have that kill. But now, Pharaoh's trying to get aggressive. Havoc, he shoots. Again, it's their ability to stay alive. Who is it? It's Kenny and Slasher around this site. It's Kenny and Slasher that shut it down. But on offense, nothing working for Florida. And it's just the defensive shows that OpTic Gaming is playing with. You had the retake in round 1, right? In round, their second defense, it was a flank push. So what does Florida do? They play a little bit slow. Maybe OpTic tries it again. But it's a different show this time. They push up aggressive through those woods, past that turbine. TJ catches them. Slasher catches them. Florida right now, they're not playing their game. They're not playing aggressive, especially on their offenses.
And it's tough because as much strategy that goes into it, and all the playmaking ability, it just feels like sometimes like rock, paper, scissors. Like, what are they going to throw at us? What are they going to throw at us? And now it's Straza. Well, he's throwing the haymakers. Already able to take down 2. Massive advantage to OpTic. Bomb getting planted. Give him the 3rd. Frosty gets caught. Looking for the 4th. Little bit of finesse, but he will fall. But so is all of Mutineers. Pharaoh last alive. I'm already planted for OpTic. OpTic Gaming putting on a search and destroy clinic.
Well, there was the aggression I was talking about, but it was more aggression for OpTic Gaming. And as you said, it's like rock, paper, scissors. And right there in that round, Florida, they throw out scissors. OpTic Gaming with the rock, just smash them in that round.
Now up 5-1. Just dominant. And most of these rounds, like, other than like
Not
the
close.
Skies making the 1v3 interesting, I mean, that's not even like that close in the sense of it was a 1v3. Like, they've been in massive holes, right? Like, when you talk about numbers
First bloods.
advantages.
Yeah.
And yeah, I haven't even been tracking exactly where we are, like, with the first bloods, but it's got to be. I mean, OpTic are massively in favor, obviously. What is it's probably 4-2, 5-1.
It might be 6. Right? I mean, the one
Frosty
round
had
they won.
Frosty had 1, but that might
Okay.
be that might be
it.
the only one. Yeah.
They're going for a different look now towards A. And TJ, he gets aggressive, and the A site is being shut down.
Everything they try is just destroy. Kenny picks up another. Poor Pharaoh last alive again. 1 versus 4. Mutineers have been beaten, battered, bruised, and any other B word that helps that.
Not good. Bullied.
Kenny bullied. There you go. Kenny, I think, was like 4-3 in the round. Just absurdity is him and TJ.
He
lock
had
it down.
He had the 12-1 yesterday. I think he was 9-3 before this kill. He's 10-3 in this map. Yeah, Texas Kenny's a little different.
10-3. Texas Kenny is looking like, hey, we got this earlier in the year. He might be an MVP candidate. He is the best player on the map right now. No question. As OpTic now go up 2-0 and Mutineers are 1 map away from being eliminated from playoffs. No chance at the championship weekend. Unbelievable. That was just not close. That was not close.
And I mean, obviously we still have a couple of respawns left. This is where Florida's been strong, but So far, I mean, OpTic are just firing all cylinders. There's really nothing else to say besides. I don't know. There's nothing. I'm speechless. Like, honestly.
I got told we're going to do our U.S. Army tactical play. In my head,
What round are we going for?
What round are we showing? Now let's take a look at our U.S. Army tactical play.
It was what, 7 minutes? You might as well run it again.
Yeah, no, that was a fast one. Looks like it's going to be round 1. We're going to be taking a look at. It was a 3 versus 3, and this is the very beginning. This is the first round where Skies almost clutches up in the 1v3, but just comes up a little bit short. TJ with the pistol that's able to go big.
Yeah, and it's the good shots by Slasher, not only on the 2 kills, but to make him weak.
True.
Because with TJ with the pistol, he's thinking, I'm going to be the first one on these pushes, and I'm also going to be the one to hop the bomb. Because I wouldn't say I'm useless, but, you know, you have a pistol, right? Let your M4 and MP5, but his teammates get caught. He's probably like, uh-oh. So it gets a little scary, but Slasher, he changed that round for them.
He's the Iceman. TJ's never scared. OpTic up 2-0, 1 map away from moving on and being guaranteed $300,000. How far can they go? Map 3 up next.
That is sensational from OpTic.
Kenny lighting it up at range.
Absolutely ripping his way through those players. The kills just don't stop for Dashi.
OpTic Gaming have done it. And it's Slasher. And suddenly the sweep comes in from OpTic.
TJ, the shots he's only gone and got it.
TeamSpeak, the official broadcast communication partner of the Call of Duty League. The US Army, what's your warrior? PlayStation 4, the official platform partner of the Call of Duty League. Call of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day with the #1 brand in prepaid.
In every battle, there is a moment. Most don't even see it. But for others, it's all they see. That move, that shot that separates legend from afterthought. That instance between your name heard round the world and total, deafening silence. Every moment, every battle only has 2 outcomes. And when it happens, only you can decide what is yours.
Tuning in for the CDL playoffs?
Want to win some free game fuel?
Use hashtag GameFuelCDL
Every day during CDL playoffs for your chance to win free game fuel.
And guess what? If you're lucky,
If you're lucky,
you're also going to win some swag from the CDL.
let's get it.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome back Before we get into the game 3, there is a Game Fuel giveaway. You can tweet out at Codley, use hashtag Game Fuel, hashtag promo, a chance to win. Have Game Fuel delivered to your door. In the chat, you can use ! Game Fuel for more information. But we love Game Fuel over here. It's why we're twisted and ready for this insane match and crazy day. Joy, I love commentating with you. I'm just in a very happy place right now, having a blast commentating some Call of Duty with my best bud.
I mean, the storylines are fantastic. If it happens, Clint, we might get OpTic Gaming versus Chicago. They still got to win another game, but
I want that so bad just for the storylines.
I know.
May the best team win this series, but from a storyline perspective, yes, OpTic versus Huntsman was a big talking point at the beginning of the year. We'll see if it's the talking point at the end of the year. But we're not there yet. Mutineers now have a chance to rally, and we'll see if they can find the form they once had. Right now, Kenny just seems to be too strong, and for Mutineers, you're going cold at the wrong time. Like, they were so hot, but now 3-5 in their last 8 matches. It just hasn't looked like that dominant team. The good thing for them, 2 of their 3 wins were over OpTic, but it doesn't look like it was this OpTic.
I guess it's just sort of after they beat Empire twice to win in June. Look at how many times they lost to Empire since that point. And I guess that probably worried me, is that they weren't making adjustments. They weren't figuring out their mistakes. Because Empire beat them 4 times. So what? They beat a brand new OpTic Gaming roster 2 times, and they beat Minnesota Rocker. So there's no like impressive wins there, right? We talked about just sort of, if you peak at the right time, you typically want it to be champs time.
Well, Joe, what do you do now? Like, if you were, let's say you were the coach of the Mutineers, you've had a rough stretch over the past couple of months, you're down at an 0-2 hole here. What are you telling the guys?
I mean, obviously you try to get them fired up, let them realize the situation, but you just got to let them play their game, man. I mean, they were at one point the best team in the world. They got to stick to their guns, continue. I think a key is continue to have good communication, and typically for domination, we go to listen in, so we'll pay attention to that. But I think that's a key. What does their voice sound like? Are they trying to pump each other up? The comms, you'd be there. They can win 3 maps in a row, no problem. So this is a big one for me. Just want to hear how they're communicating with one another.
Yeah, and also what's scary is you said the map 1 was the Mutineers pick, right? So OpTic winning that, obviously going to be huge. You'd feel good about OpTic in the map 4, but what can you tell me about the domination for Hackney Yard, like between these 2 squads?
A lot of repetitions for Florida. 8-9. You've played this 17 times. You're 1-0 against OpTic Gaming. OpTic Gaming, though, 8-6. So probably one of their better domination maps. Especially you talk about their year, the fact they have a winning record on it. I think that's pretty solid. But 0-1 versus Florida.
Well, here we go. Mutineers tournament life could be ended here unless they find some ability to rally, muster up some strength in the core of these 5 players, and bounce back with a vengeance. It's got to happen out the gate. And the tough thing for them, you got destroyed map 2, and you're starting on Seaside to kick off this dom, and it can be one of the more frustrating sides to play from.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get aggressive middle of the map after that first blood. A and B being capped by OpTic Gaming. OpTic Gaming, they're going to have to try and stop this push. We know what Florida's trying to do, and stop it. That's exactly what they do, as 3 get taken down. Pharaoh now trying to stay alive. But there was that little opening there, right, when both players are on the flags, just getting the capture in. But so far, so good. A nice recovery there off the start.
And 2 players from OpTic spawned all the way out like at green. I don't know if it's just because of their forward position around B, and maybe I think it was Skies that was kind of pushed up frontside office, but they spawn out kind of deep towards mid-map. We'll see what kind of issues that creates for either side. There's still a dance going on towards office, but it's Kenny inside the point, trying desperately to stay alive. He was 1 shot, still managed to pick up a kill, but then he'll fall after that, and Mutineers will look to get that neutral. They're able to do that as the pinch now develops for OpTic to get back inside of the B point.
Yeah, 3 go down for OpTic Gaming. Kenny was trying to do what he could, but everybody spawned out. You probably had a trophy on it, so nades didn't matter. So see how long Florida can hang on to this. Havoc and Skies stopping this push. Frosty, this is so important to control this top L area. gives your team such a strong position on through middle of the map and through looking at B. I thought Draza might be able to make the play, but now they want to fly with 3 dead. Would make it 4 dead. Can Hollow try to find 1 or 2? This is not what you want if you're OpTic Gaming. And there we go. It looks like this could be an A flip.
It looks like the flip is in. What a play from Mutineers. OpTic now put in a tough spot. They've got to be concerned of the current situation in this first side. Let's go to an after listening with OpTic Gaming.
Got me. They're mid hop. Mid hop. Mid AC. Jay was mid hop. Top AC one shot. I'm in double doors.
Take it. Oh,
It's close to you. One shot. AC up. AC up. He looked up.
Oh, he's in the corner. I got one.
Awakening isn't. That's one top bro. Okay, mid. One top green. I smoked AC. MP1. MP1 and mid stack. Mid stack. And MP1.
Wait,
Yo, one is deep. Jay's useless.
Yeah, Awakening.
Look at top. He jumped down.
I'm looking. I'm gonna work right.
Car. That's one copper
kills here. Yeah.
There's
top right out.
Go middle. Top P2. You guys
I'm smoking.
Top P2. We do. Back left on me. I'm helping you forward. I'm top useless on me. He's low on you. Top useless. You're 180. He's down A right now. On A right now.
Oh, yeah.
They might be on the screen. I'm turning.
I'm on A.
Be top P2 or bottom P2. He's in A.
Look to my right. My door's open. Hey, tires weak. Tires weak. Behind the right crate.
Giving up green now. White crate on me. White crate. I'm seeing white crate.
Well, the tail end of the list, and it looks like OpTic are going to get the flip back, but they're down 14, and you feel like already Mutineers have done enough in this first half.
Yeah, and this typically happens right when you go for this A push, and Skies did a wonderful job there just delaying the A capture for so long. It allows all of his teammates to not only capture C, but also make a nice push into B. The 1 or 2 players from OpTic Gaming, they couldn't hold on to it. Now you have 5 dead, and there's going to be the flip again. OpTic Gaming, they're just kind of getting steamrolled. Just the slaying is very one-sided throughout this first half, and the score showing it.
Yeah, this is the exact answer and resurgence you needed to see from Mutineers. They're getting it done. Up 16, just under a minute to go. I don't know how Skies just got that kill. He was full on mantle hip fire with the M4, but it worked. Kenny's dead.
That works. I don't know how many times you'll see that again, but
yeah.
Well, that's going on. Draza was able to take down both Havoc and Skies, at least get a neutral. We'll see how this half closes out, but yeah, with OpTic Gaming starting at A. 18 points. It could go up to about 24. You will take that all day for Florida.
Final couple ticks will go through. OpTic should be able to at least neutral and maybe get a capture. Draza was just stuck, I believe. Great play from Frosty. He gets 3, and not going to matter too much in the points department. It's just not a lot of time to go, but maybe has 1 extra point for Mutineers behind that Frosty play. They'll end up 21 going into the second half. OpTic now flipping over to that kind of weak side towards C. I guess, can they get the insane flip the Mutineers are able to do? Those 4 or 5 down situations where you can make the play. Can they do the exact same thing, or can Mutineers make this a series?
Yeah, 20 is not like doable. Horrible. It's yeah, it's doable, but it's also to the point where 20 with a 2 cap is almost 2 minutes, right? And we know how that's just hard to do. It's hard to do on this map to hold a 2 cap for that long. Sometimes you're going for those pushes, the neutral at those home flies. So we'll see what they can do. And a lot of the times it's about the start. As OpTic Gaming get very aggressive through the middle of the map.
But that was great. I mean, yeah, Mutineers outslayed them by 12, and that's not usually the story when you're starting on C side, but that's what a mid-half flip can do for you. Slasher trying to do it from the window. They'll pick up kills, pretty evenly traded across both sides, so nothing insane going to happen to B as Mutineers obviously get the opening hold.
Well, Slasher stays alive, and TJ gets 2 inside, so that could be B for OpTic. Hey, TJ just flies on through. Superman, and he actually influenced the spawns as well.
There's the flip. There's the flip. So it's a similar spot to what we saw happen to OpTic. Mutineers now have to deal with it. Let's go to an Astro listening with Florida Mutineers.
Hollow top of C. Landing on top L.
Take her top.
I didn't hit him. I'm flashing top out. I flashed him. Flashing top out hard. Give me.
Watching
One green, dead.
Cray dead.
Yo, one's green.
One green.
One
One
green.
green.
One green. One on white girl. Clear off B1 together. Caesar, don't block the spawn. Cut him off.
Yeah.
Top AC.
They know. Push bottom out.
Yo, they're forked.
Bottom out.
I'm moving.
One's killers right now.
Yo, I'm in P1.
We got P1.
They can be top out. They can be top out.
I play kill.
Yo, P1 dead.
Nice.
Nice,
3.
three.
Push.
Yo, P3.
Look, P3. P3. One shot. Nice.
Nice.
Sure.
Top PC dead.
Nice, good shit.
Nice.
Let's fucking go.
One's their back tires. You saw him.
Waiting.
Back tires. He's on cop.
Pick up
Let's go.
Yeah,
Hold TP. Hold TP.
Yep. Outside their P1 door too. One's outside their P1 door.
Watch my top out pinch.
Got two. Top
we
out.
can't.
Their door.
One goes their door. I'm mowing.
Their door weak.
Top out, right, top out.
Draws a push and B.
I'll sit down the door. CJ, I'm coming top PC right now. Yo, one
Top
fork.
out dead.
Top out.
Fork going middle.
Top out.
Taking him in.
Yeah, he's gonna come in top out of mid. Let's get
Nice, go in.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Give me.
First B, use numbers B. I'll pick up on mid. You can go to me.
I'm nading right away.
Yep. Someone go mid. I'm going top out. Yo, one's on their deep
climbing
side.
top.
Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
I'll pick up one.
Staff one shot.
Alright, slow down. Yo, one's on C, guys. Nice. Nice.
Mutineers are getting it done from the seaside hold. They've had that CB setup. What an excellent job holding on. And now with 2.5 left to go. Up 25. It's Kenny on the overextension towards C. He was able to get the capture for a moment. They're flooding on to B as well. Now, can they get it done? Skies is going to get dropped, trying to peek from the top window. OpTic should get B. Now with the AB setup, you're going to have to hold a 2-cap for like this entire 2-minute stretch.
Yeah, Kenny, I mean, he wins a huge one-on-one to get that capture. It forces a couple of players to back on up. That opens up the B flag for OpTic Gaming. But even in the comms, you heard them sort of motivating each other, right? Gassing each other up. That's exactly what you wanted to hear. I thought you couldn't tell that they were down 0-2. So I talked about that pregame on point right there from Florida. Now they have an opportunity to get this B flag. Right now, you just want to play around neutrals. Your best friend is that clock.
There's the neutral. They're able to get it through. They're going to be able to get the cap as well, and that retake could be the game unless OpTic can pull off something crazy every 5 seconds. Those added points going to be massive. That'll be 4 down. 4 down. There's one more player bottom. Are they able to pick it up? Slasher's going to get dropped as he soars in. What can Pharaoh do? He's at least able to get one. Delays this for a second. That's enough for the reinforcements now to get into the top window. The TJ, yeah, he gets C as well. B might get captured as well. Kenny's trying to do it. No points coming in currently for Mutineers. 12-point game. Minute to go.
TJ's still alive at C as well. One player inside of B.
He won it again!
TJ, he's gotten 5 in a row. More pressure here.
No.
Another one.
They haven't got B yet, though. They're just starting to get it done. C will be neutral as well, down to a 9-point advantage. 50 seconds remaining. What is the insanity of the closing moments of this map? Now on Kenny to try and hold from the blue van is Mutineers know they've got to break. They've got to get in. This hold enough for OpTic to get the W if they can continue to do it. Kenny with the crisp headshots through. Another one for Kenny. TJ then falls up with 2. That's going to be 4 down. Second by second, the lead is dwindling now to 2 points. OpTic can win it with a 3-0 here. TJ wins another. TJ's lighting it up. The lead change now is looming. 150. Insanity on the map.
That's it, Maven. They all spawn out. There's just no time to get inside of B, to get inside of A. TJ goes huge at C. You have Slasher staying alive inside of B. Perfect execution towards the end of that game. And OpTic Gaming LA, you have a date with the Chicago Huntsmen.
What a map it was. Are you? Is Slasher smiling? I think Slasher's smiling.
He's smiling.
That was a smile. It was as close as we're going to see. But TJ,
it's this right here.
TJ did it all at C. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Oh,
I'm not. He's not kidding you.
God. What a play it was from TJ. You saw it there again in the play of the game. 158 to 154. One of the nuttier dominations you are ever going to see. In the final result, OpTic move on. A date with Huntsman. They guaranteed themselves $300,000, and Mutineers unfortunately for them and their fans, have been eliminated from playoffs. No chance to compete the championship weekend. Only the top 4 will be moving on. And that is the 7th sweep of the year for OpTic. And they haven't won a ton of series. So for whatever reason, a lot of times when they're winning lopsidedly.
And what was the discussion for Florida, right? What were the game field keys to victory? Those close moments. Who is going to be the leader? Who is going to step up? And I guess nobody. Nobody stepped up. I mean, they played a great 8 minutes of domination, but it's the last 2 from OpTic Gaming. It's the clutch kills from TJ. I don't know, man. Like that is where they had to execute. That was their issues, and they just couldn't fix it.
Well, it's now time for the scuff play of the game. We're going to look at the final 90 seconds or so from this game. But that left side, I know we were focused on the battle at B because that was important as well, but it's TJ winning one-on-one after one-on-one to hold on to C. He got kills all over the map. Just watch that number 7 and what he's able to do in the finesse around C. That was the difference for him. He basically killed every single player on Mutineers to hold on to that.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice it, but Awakening was doing a great job. He was doing the same thing at B. He really was. He found 3 kills to just stall the time for OpTic Gaming. If his teammates are able to take care of C earlier, they probably have the rotation. They can probably at least deal with the neutral at B. OpTic might not cap it. But there's really nothing else to say. This was probably the final push, and who shuts it down? It's Kenny with 2 clutch kills with that M4. Another great performance out of him. But the MVP of this map is no doubt in my mind, TJ. I mean, that's exactly what you needed.
Of the match, maybe Kenny. Of the match, maybe Kenny with his game 1 and game 2 performance.
No,
but to close it out
of this map, yeah, dude, like unreal 100%. Stuff from him.
100%. Like I have to go back and look to see who exactly he killed, but like I think he probably killed every single player. Like that was just unbelievable from him. They close it out. What a comeback it was. I mean, outside of the map 2 with some pretty crazy maps, and Mutineers almost pull off an insane comeback in map 1. OpTic are able to close it out here, but we'll take a look at how the playoff bracket looks now. You've got 2 matches remaining to determine your final 2 teams to get into that 4-team bracket with FaZe and Empire. It's OpTic Huntsman, it's Ravens Ultra. It all comes down to these 2 matches. Then we reset. We've got a week to soak in playoffs. Teams can get their content ready. The CDL can get everything rocking for all the focus on the 4 top teams in the world for one final dance. I love this show. I do.
Yeah, obviously Ultra in London. We see it up there. They played already. It was a 3-1 to Ultra. Can London do it, man? They're able to take down New York earlier today. Then OpTic Gaming. We were talking about it before that map 3. Slashers OpTic versus Chicago Huntsman. That could be a banger.
Whew. Well, that is going to do it for Joe and I for now. We'll be casting the final match of the night. But before we continue the action, we've got Lando with Hollow. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, Maven. Unfortunately, it's not Hollow. It's actually going to be Texas Kenny, who's joining me here from OpTic Gaming, Los Angeles. Again, it's your instant reaction brought to you by PlayStation. Kenny, man, walk me through your perspective in what was an unreal comeback versus Florida and that domination. Everybody's under the impression this one's going to a game 4. You guys managed to fire back. Maven and Merc were losing their minds. Walk me through it, man.
Well, after the first half, I kind of, also kind of just said, yo, make sure you're playing our kills, because during the first half, we were kind of like playing too much for flags and not really getting many kills and like actually guaranteeing kills. So going into the second half, we just kind of focused on getting our kills and then obviously playing the caps after. But I mean, we just kind of calmed down the comms and just calmed down everybody during that whole match, and we just kind of played how we were supposed to play. And then, I mean, our W just came out.
Yeah, man, that's without question, right? Ken, that now makes it, 3 series in a row? Gorillas, Rocker, and now Mutineers. Florida's taken you guys down the past 2 times that you've played. What's impressed you about this team's composure up to this point?
I mean, it's just our clutch factor, I would think. Right now, like, even in the clutch situations, we're just really composed, and like we tend to come out on top in any clutch scenarios. So I think that's a big thing for a team in general, especially at champs. I feel like most teams are all on the same level. It just comes down to who clutches more. And I feel like right now our composure and everything during the clutch spots is really big.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you what, Ken, you've been absolutely frying so far here at playoffs. I have to ask you, is Texas Kenny here to stay?
Texas, he might just have to, because right now the game just feels night and day. Like, obviously it felt like this whole year, I just felt at a disadvantage, to be honest. Even in practice, I could just feel it, but I didn't know it was this big of a difference. But being here, I just can actually shoot back. I can actually win gunfights I'm supposed to, and it honestly just feels good. And I feel like I'm actually helping out my team a lot now. So that's just really big for us.
Definitely, man. Well, I got to ask you one last question before I let you go. Big matchup here coming up against Chicago. You guys obviously bested them the last time that you played. The way that you're playing, the way that the team's playing. How do you feel how do you feel about that matchup coming up against Chicago here shortly?
Really confident. I mean, we're really confident versus every team, but I just know they're going to come with the fire just because, I mean, they're off a hot loss. Well, not off a hot loss, but they're off a loss, and obviously nobody wants to get knocked out, but we're really hot right now. I don't remember. I mean, we haven't dropped the map in the last few series, so I'm hoping we can keep that up. Our S&D looks really, really good right now, and if we can just stay hot, I think we'll be able to take it.
Absolutely, man. Well, that was your instant reaction brought to you by PlayStation. Kenny, thanks so much for joining me, and congrats again to you and the team on the win.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, up next, folks, CDL Playoffs Only will continue here for our final day as we've got an absolute banger set up ready for you. It's the Royal Ravens taking on the Toronto Ultra.